Major American sports leagues all want to tap China's market for profit. But just how invested are they in China? And what about the downside? Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Unless you've been living under a rock, or the kind of person who thinks the best spectator sport is chess, you've heard about the recent controversy with the NBA in China. Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey took the bold step last week of exercising his constitutional right of free speech. He tweeted this image: "Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong." Hong Kong has been gripped by protests over essentially the Chinese Communist Party's increasing suppression of Hong Kong's freedoms that were promised by the party. Also, they're upset about all the police brutality. But the Communist Party is super sensitive about anyone bringing up its terrible human rights record. It's like that time my roommate Carl got a really bad haircut. When I brought it up, he punched me in the face. And then he told me it was my fault for leaving him alone with scissors while he was drunk. He has a point. Anyway, Daryl Morey tweeting "Stand with Hong Kong" did not go over well in China, where standing up for human rights is a political no-no. Even though Morey and the NBA apologized, the NBA's Chinese partners still suspended ties with them. And Chinese media announced they wouldn't broadcast the NBA's preseason games in China. Oh no, not the preseason! What about my October Madness bracket? I really wanted to watch the Sixers play the Guangzhou Long Lions? Fortunately, Tencent got permission from Chinese authorities this week to resume the preseason broadcasts. Because it's one thing for the Communist Party to punish the NBA, but quite another to make a Chinese company lose millions of dollars over it. And nothing's more important to the Communist Party than money. What's that, Shelley? Okay, money and staying in power. But the fallout from Daryl Morey's single tweet shows how third-rail issues can quickly derail the business interests of American companies, like the NBA, who worked for years to get a foothold in China's relatively closed market. The relationship between China and the NBA started about 30 years ago, as a fling. The NBA's then commissioner, David Stern, struck a deal with Chinese television to show games on a tape-delayed basis. The romance gradually turned into a happy marriage with media rights, streaming, merchandise sales, all told worth around $4 billion a year. Now, the NBA has 200 employees in Beijing and Shanghai. Around 500 million Chinese people watched at least one NBA game last season on TV or in person. But the NBA's problems in China are just the tip of the iceberg. All the other major American sports leagues are invested in China too, like the NFL, the National Football League. They've had big dreams of China for decades, but that all slipped away in 2004 when the Super Bowl 38 halftime show video briefly flashed this image. Most people would be forgiven for not noticing Tank Man because the flash that riveted most people's attention that day was Janet Jackson with a wardrobe malfunction that for some reason left a much bigger impression. Fortunately, this show is not Janet Jackson Uncovered. The Tank Man image was flashed on screen at the Super Bowl for only a split second, as part of this montage in celebration of freedom.
Choose to be independent.
Choose to care.
Choose to take a stand.
Choose your faith.
But one short tiny clip during the first Super Bowl to be broadcast nationwide in China got the NFL punished big time. China's main state-run television network, CCTV, dropped the NFL like it was Jake Delhomme's football. And then the NFL faced a years-long uphill battle to get back into the Chinese regime's good graces. Nowadays, NFL games are widely available in China. The league claims 140 million Chinese citizens watch the Super Bowl, but the NFL still dreams of an even bigger foothold. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell recently said China is a priority market. While on a promotional trip to Beijing, Patriots quarterback Tom Brady said his dream is to play a game here in China someday. In 2007, the NFL reached a deal with Titan Sports, the biggest sports newspaper in China, to increase coverage by bringing the excitement of America's passion to a Chinese audience. No, not freedom, America's other passion. I'm talking about our passion for making tons of money, preferably stuffed into clearly labeled canvas sacks. Or suitcases, we're not picky. In 2017, the NFL signed a 3-year streaming deal with Chinese internet giant Tencent. You know, Tencent, the totally independent company that just happens to do the bidding of the Chinese Communist Party. That article says a Dutch hacker recently revealed that the content of millions of conversations on Tencent applications are being relayed, along with the users' identities, to police stations across China. Which is one example of why not everyone is enthusiastic about the NFL's plans for an even bigger foothold in China. Plans that would require the NFL to partner with more companies known for facilitating censorship and surveillance. Sports commentator Mike Florio recently wrote an article headlined, "Should the NFL reconsider its interest in China?" He argues it may be better for the NFL not to build up a business model in China at all, since the more it does, the more the relationship is subject to the whims of the Communist Party. Once that market exists, the NFL won't want to lose it, which could mean engaging in the kind of self-censorship that undermines the overall integrity of the operation. But it's not just the NBA and the NFL. There's also MLB, Major League Baseball. In April 2018, MLB announced a deal with Tencent to stream 125 games this season. You know they're serious when execs from MLB and Tencent come out to pose in stupid photos for China Daily. Tencent will also become the official partner of a traveling baseball show that goes around China promoting the game, called MLB Baseball Park. The show's been getting around 3.5 million fans each year. MLB has even partnered with a state-owned developer to open 20 new baseball facilities in China. The MLB facilities will teach baseball skills to children grades 7 through 12 and offer mainstream school curriculum. It's the only high school where students are encouraged to get to third base. But it's not just the NBA, NFL, and MLB that are digging their heels into the China market. There's also the NHL, the National Hockey League. In 2017, the NHL had 2 preseason games at an arena in Shanghai. It was dubbed the China Games, although the teams facing off were the Los Angeles Kings and the Vancouver Canucks. The NHL said in a statement that China is seriously committed to promoting ice hockey and making it into a sport that the Chinese people will love and enjoy. And in that same vein of wishful thinking, the NHL signed a 5-year deal with Tencent to show games on its mobile platform and video sites. Boy, everyone's making deals with Tencent. In some respects, the NHL's deputy commissioner says, the sky is the limit, right? Well, not exactly. Not saying anything that might trigger China's Communist Party, that's the limit. And finally, there's MLS, or Major League Soccer, which not many Americans knew was a thing until David Beckham joined the LA Galaxy in 2007. Then 3 years later, the New York Red Bulls acquired Thierry Henry from FC Barcelona. And this snowballed into a kind of marketing strategy for the league. MLS got the star power it needed to boost its profile, while European soccer icons got a place to comfortably play out the twilight of their careers. Yes, I'm saying American soccer is a retirement home. Leveraging the brand recognition of European stars, never mind that they're past their prime, is one of Major League Soccer's strategies for China. In 2018, MLS signed a 2-year deal with China sports media to live stream American soccer games. The president of MLS Business Ventures said at the time that China is a priority market. That sounds familiar. Major League Soccer's biggest obstacle in China, though, isn't likely to come from fans with free Hong Kong signs. It's likely to come from the Chinese Super League. That's China's homegrown soccer league that not only wants to dominate the local market, but wants to conquer the world. Chinese leader Xi Jinping is actually a huge soccer fan and likes to kick the ball around when he's not too busy locking up Uyghurs and stuff. Yes, I know that's a Gaelic football. Anyway, Xi wants China to eventually win the World Cup. He has an ambitious plan to build 50,000 soccer academies by 2025. With 1,000 students each, these training schools would aim to produce a total of 50 million competent soccer players. So, American soccer may have a hard time competing with China's state-backed nightmare communist soccer factories. So, good luck having a bright future in China, American sports leagues, because even if you censor yourself and your players and kowtow to the Chinese regime's demands, once you get popular, the Chinese regime might just squeeze you out of the market. Because What's more reliable than a foreign company that does its bidding? A Chinese company that does its bidding. So what do you think about how much America's sports industry is invested in China? Leave your comments below. And remember, this show is possible thanks to viewers like you. Contribute to America Uncovered on the crowdfunding website Patreon. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.